poor tenant farmers. And there was a group called the Land League, and what the Land League did is every time they got word of an eviction, they show up with hundreds and thousands of people, and they saved hundreds of thousands of people from being forced out onto the streets. And I think that this tradition of eviction defense and tenant organizing has been seen all around the country. It's been seen from India to China to Europe to the United States. And it's only when tenants get organized and only when tenants fight back together that we ever see improvements for people in terms of their rights. So yes, know your rights. Yes, band together. But even if this was a legal eviction, I think we should still be here. Yes, there's and when these moratoriums end, we should still be out here for our neighbors. Yeah. We should still be here. We should still be fighting back, because the laws the laws that they put in place, they can help us sometimes, but they're not what's going to save us in the end. Yeah. You're going to save us in the end through our organized power, and that's also the only thing that's going to change the laws to make them any better. So, stand up like that. When tenants' rights are under attack, what do you do?
Stand up, fight back!
Tenants' rights are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When tenants' rights are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When tenants' rights are under attack! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
And if we don't get it,
shut it down!
If we don't get it,
shut it down!
we don't get it!
Shut it down!
When our homes are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our homes are under attack, what do we do? When tenants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our homes are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Woo! Yeah! All right. No job!
No rent!
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 Woo! Alright. Alright, how about you say rent, I say strike!
Rent!
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 Strike!
Rent! Rent! Rent!
Strike!
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 Rent!
Woo! Yeah! What do you want? When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
what are we shutting down today?
Eviction!
Woo! Shut down eviction! Woo! Let's shut it down!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Oh no, I don't want that. It's heavy.
I'm kind of cheating because I'm going to ask you guys to talk more than I'm going to talk. Who has a shitty landlord story that they want to share? Anybody? Who's got some shit landlords? Let's hear about it.
Well, I've lived around D.C. for some years now, so I definitely have some stories. You know, it's unfortunate. D.C. being such a wealthy city, you know, average income on the metro is $100K, and yet you get treated like garbage. So I had a landlord one time, you know, I moved in price seemed good, $750. You know, I'm from the Midwest originally, so I thought to myself, DC is the smallest city, it'll likely be cheaper, right? Wrong. This city has one of the highest rates of gentrification. In fact, Shaw neighborhood was the fastest gentrifying neighborhood in the U.S. last year.
Yeah.
So I had a landlord, right? I move in, right? It seems good. He polished it up that day. Never did it again. I started noticing there were those, I believe they're centipedes, but you know the ones with the weird legs? Yeah, they were infested in there. I told him about it, crickets. One day I woke up, right? I started smelling some cigarette smoke, you know. The neighbors downstairs were smoking directly into the air vent. I told the landlord about it, and then the AC broke and he didn't do anything about it. He didn't solve either issue. When I tried to get some help about it, the government was unhelpful. I had to eventually leave, and I had to leave my deposit of $400 behind. Now, it's amazing, you know, in fact, that I was able to afford that, but $400 to a lot of people, in fact, let me not lie, $400 kind of hurt. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm still thinking about that, especially right now. But $400 to a lot of other people is life and death. Yeah. So, when I'm up here, I'm not up here just because, you know, the George Floyd protests have been happening. I'm not up here because someone on Twitter or someone on the news told me to come on out. I'm up here because I have seen firsthand how this system works against those it deems lower. So when I say no more landlords, when I say cancel rent, and when I say all power to the people, I mean that. What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
We don't get it.
Shut it down.
All right, y'all.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
What do we want? Now. What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Cancel rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Hi. I wanted to say a couple words. I used to work in the Maryland General Assembly. I was a staffer there. I don't work there anymore, but I want to talk a little bit about how ridiculous it is that Maryland hasn't canceled rent. You might be wondering, is it complicated to cancel rent? What does that mean? How do we do it? And it's not. Larry Hogan could do it today. He could have done it at the start of this pandemic. He could have done it whenever he wanted. He won't because he's in the pocket of the landlords and the business developers and those who have the money. And you want to know what will happen if we cancel rent? You know, you think that landlords are going to be out of pocket? They're going to be out on the streets? No. They are mortgage owners. They're going to go to their congressman. They're going to go to their state official, and they're going to go, we need a bailout. And when we're talking about landlords, we're talking about huge conglomerates of people who hoard massive amounts of wealth that we can't even fathom, right? Like crazy amounts of money. And they're going to go to Congress, and they're going to get bailed out by the same banks that are making money off of evicting us in the first place. So when we talk about canceling rent, we're not talking about hurting working people, right? You're like, oh, this small landlord, this is just like his second house. You don't need a second house. It's an investment. Right? Anyway, so for everyone who wants a little bit, just like a quick history, you can absolutely cancel rent. The people who should be lobbying Congress for a bailout should not be working people trying to make ends meet, right? Do they have lobbyists? Do all of us have lobbyists to go to Congress and say we need a bailout? No, that's what the banks and the giant media conglomerates have. So, in short, cancel rent.
So I kind of wanted to say something about how, more about police budgets also. So here in Hyattsville, yes, we're going to tie it together because defund the police is about investing in our communities. So Hyattsville budget for their police is $8.9 million. $8.9 million. Community services in Hyattsville, community services. So that's like if they get evicted, the people they would have to talk to, to get help, somewhere to live, some deposit help. The community services, social workers, they have a budget of $1.5 million. Community services budget is $1.5 million in Hyattsville compared to $8.9 million for the police. Shame. So when we say that we need to defund the police, it's not because we hate cops. We think cops are pointless. I mean, they are, but that's not our point. Our point is that you invest in policing people more than you do caring for people. That is not how you elevate each other. We want a just and equitable society. Having police have a more budget than community service is not equitable. It's not equitable. Because if you go to the police after you get evicted, they're going to be calling 211 United Way to look for somewhere you to go. It's the same shit you could have did. Your homegirl could have did. So what we need is to be investing in. If there was invested more money into the community services, there would be an agency they could call to get rid of assistance. Imagine what $8 million could do for people that's getting ready to lose their housing. Imagine that. So this is what we're trying to do out here. Canceling rent for this house is one thing. Canceling eviction for this one house is one thing. But we're here to change society. This isn't about the upcoming election. It's not just defund the police. We take half of their budget away. We take $15 million out, $500 million. It's not that. It's not that. We are here to make a society so that our children and our grandchildren can flourish. So they can not see this on the TV, how we've been seeing protests our whole life, how your grandmother seen protests her whole life, how her grandmother was fighting for her freedom her whole life. I don't want my children to fight for shit. I just want them to live in this world with peace and to understand that they are equal. They don't have to have talks and say little kids about what's the difference, about being more respectful in the stores to white people, about watching your tongue, about moving out their way, even though you was already on the sidewalk. I want to be equal. My grandmother will pass away soon, unfortunately. My grandma has never seen a beach. Never seen a beach because growing up, beaches were segregated. So now she's just, but how hard it is to get to a beach? It's still not equitable because how you going to get to a beach without a car? What buses are you taking? If you wanted to take a bus, you couldn't even do it right now because 90% of the buses are closed for COVID. So this small action here looks small, but this is the little piece of change. This will cause other people to see that there's another way to imagine society. There's another way to exist. You don't have to depend on being a landlord to make extra money outside of your full-time job because you want to emulate what capitalism sells. You want to, pull up by your bootstraps. You want to have your picket fence. You can stand and exist in this world without having to oppress other people. You can do that. There's a way, but we have to work together. And seeing all of us out here is a proof that we can work together. We don't have to be divided. We don't have to be against each other. But what we all have to understand is that there is systems and people in place that prevent that. That this isn't by chance. This isn't happen to be. Oppressing black and brown poor people is not an accident. This was planned since the beginning of them coming on this land and deciding to take it and to kill and to murder. They are the original looters. So if these people want to stay in their house, they're not looting this house. They're not stealing this house. They're trying to have safety. And we have to think of that. People are trying to have their basic needs. Their basic hierarchy of needs are met. Safety. Housing is safety. And if you take somebody's safety away, they have nothing. So if this landlord feel like he's going to lose some money or he's going to get a foreclosure, okay, but you're not losing your safety. You're using your capital, and that's okay, because you didn't need it in the first place.
We can keep chanting now. What's a good one? What do people like?
Cancel rent!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
What do we want?
Now! One job should be enough! 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 Fund care, not cops! 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 No job, no rent! 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 No job, no rent!
Food, not rent.
Food, not rent! 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 Food, not rent!
Anyone got any anti-Bezos chants? We got
Sorry. Oh, sorry again. Okay. I'm one of the tenants that reside here. And here are the laws and codes of each instance that Bob has disobeyed. The MD Code, Real Property, Article 8-216. A landlord may not take possession or threaten to take possession of a dwelling unit from a tenant by locking the tenant out or any other action, including willful diminution of services to the tenant. A landlord may take possession of a dwelling unit from a tenant in accordance with a warrant of restitution issued by a court, executed by a sheriff or constable. If in any proceeding the court finds in favor of the tenant because the landlord violated this section, the tenant may recover actual damages and reasonable attorney's fees and costs. We asked Bob, did you or did you not threaten to remove the tenants and their possessions on numerous occasions, in addition to threatening to change the locks? On Sunday night, July 27th, Bob threatened to change the locks on the tenant's doors. This is against MD Code, Real Property, Article 8-216. The tenants request that you acknowledge this law and give them 30 days to remove our items under the 1-month notice code, MCA 8-402B3, B4.
In general, except as provided in paragraph of the subsection, a landlord may not take possession or threaten to take possession of a dwelling unit from a tenant by locking the tenant out or any other action, including willful diminution of services to the tenant. The CARES Act eviction moratorium, Section 402B prohibits landlords of certain rental-covered dwellings from initiating eviction proceedings or charging late fees, penalties, or other charges against a tenant for the non-payment of rent. This house, we paid rent up full, and Bob still threatened to change our locks, kick us out, because he was threatened that we didn't pay rent for a few months when people were unemployed. And that shame. Bob Miley harassed tenants for rent money against that act, against CARES eviction moratorium. That's a statewide act seen by Maryland, seen by the whole nation. And he also threatened to charge us late fees. CARES Act bars landlords from charging late fees and other penalties because of tenants' non-payment during that 120 days. He invaded the law at that time.
Check your privilege. We have rights.
It's clear that Bob threatened tenants on numerous occasions for rent and also threatened to change their locks. This forced us into a situation of oppression where we made a GoFundMe to secure our housing. It's against the CARES Act, which states that landlords are not even able to harass for rent. Still, the funds were made in full. On July 19th, the tenants received a receipt from Bob about full payment of about $8,700, which he shouldn't have harassed us for anyway, along with a short notice to vacate within 10 days by July 31st. He says, from an email from Bob, this letter may also be used to confirm that the rent has been paid in full throughout your temporary occupancy at the rate of $20.28 per month. I plan to meet you at the property to pick up keys at 5 p.m. on 7/31/20 and to assure that all your personal property has been removed. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. Regards, Bob Miley, landlord/owner. When we contacted him with our concerns for a 30-day notice at least, this was denied several times. CARES Eviction Act states landlord must provide 30-day notice before vacating property, and earliest eviction for that has to be August 23rd, 2020. Is it August 23rd, 2020? No! Okay, Bob broke that law as well. The tenants request that Bob acknowledges the law and give us 30 days to remove our items under the 1-month notice code, COVID or not. It's MCA 8402B3, as well as CARES Act, which says that we can't be evicted at all. So our white men that don't even keep their maintenance and their codes for their house above the law. No. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or anything else to share? Because I'm going to drink kombucha and pass the megaphone.
No job!
No rent!
No job!
No rent!
No health care!
No rent!
No health care!
No rent!
No job!
I saw you.
No rent!
No job!
No rent!
No job!
No rent!
No health care!
No rent!
No food!
No rent!
No job!
No rent!
Also, we do think that we saw Bob Miley at the top of the hill over there walking with his buddy, and then he kind of like walked away. So we're not sure how close he is to the premises, but I think that we were able to effectively remove him, but not sure if he's gonna like come back here at 9 p.m. and try to change our locks. Really just not sure about that. Or midnight. I don't know if he'll like come back and try to do something illegal. So.
I got someone from the That's the only trickle down.
Also, it's kind of word of mouth right now, but Frosh, the Attorney General, contacted Hogan to extend the 30-day moratorium that's supposed to be kept during a state of emergency. Since the United States still has a state of emergency and it hasn't been lifted, Hogan is probably going to renew that protection anyway. And he may extend it till 2021. And so just know your laws and know your rights, because if a landlord tries to illegally remove you from your property during these protections, they're breaking every law in the book, in addition to others.
So now he's evading the law. When he said all those statements again, prior to the 30 days.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. All these slumlords got to go. Hey, hey.
Good afternoon. I'm glad everyone turned out. What we need to have happen is for the Governor Larry Hogan, to extend the state of emergency so that we don't have people put in this circumstance. Either that, or he's going to be in the position of another chief executive back in the 30s, and his name was President Herbert Hoover. And we ended up in this country from 31 to 1941 when the Japanese jumped us at Pearl Harbor with Hoovervilles, which were shanty towns, people put together, cardboard, whatever they could get, families and encampments. There were multitudes of these shanty towns throughout the country. Is this the way we want this country to go?
No!
There's some people that do want this country to go that way. They're the ultra-right. They want an authoritarian state. And if they can get enough upheaval in this country, they figure they can get their way. Be mindful of these people. And in the meantime, enough pressure put on Republican Governor Larry Hogan. Maybe he will do the right thing, and he won't fall into the same category as Herbert Hoover. Thank you.
Thank you. Who are you?
Oh, by the way, I'm with the DC Tenant Union. I forgot to mention. Thank you.
Thank you.
When tenants' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that!
Tenants' rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up like that!
Tenants' rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up like that!
Tenants' rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up like that!
Tenants' rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up like that!
Tenants' rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up like that!
When I say rent, you say strike.
Strike!
Rent.
Strike!
When I say rent, you say strike.
Rent! Strike!
Rent.
Strike!
Hi everyone. So when I was a kid, I was 6 or 7, I lived in a trailer park in Florida, and me and my family were evicted. We were kicked out of the house that I grew up in, little that it was, and I will be damned if I see anyone in my community kicked out of their house. We have an obligation to stand up for each other in situations particularly in which being kicked out will not kill us. There's a hurricane coming, as was earlier mentioned. There's a pandemic, a global pandemic, a historic pandemic going on right now. And there are still people out there who have the gall to demand that we pay rent to demand that if we do not follow their rules, be they lawful or not, that we die, that we just go, that we live on the street and make things. And I hope all of us here can agree that we say, no, fuck landlords. We will not stand for it. We will be out here until this house is guaranteed safe from eviction. Thank you.
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
shut it down!
If we don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
All right, all power to the people.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No rent!
No peace!
No justice! No rent! No peace! I said it wrong. No peace, no peace. Not bad. All of it's true. No rent!
No peace!
No rent!
No peace!
No rent!
No peace!
No rent!
No peace!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
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 When do we want it?
Cancel rent!
We passing. I feel you.
Woo!
Look, I'm sure he's scared now.
Okay, so I work with, or I volunteer with the DC Humanitarian Aid Station. If you guys have gone protesting downtown, that little hut that was built right in front of the church, that was our group. Yes, awesome. We're only here for you. All of this water, if it doesn't get used now, just know that this, not all of it, but these are all donations. We do have more donations to come if it's needed. So if it doesn't get consumed here, feel free to take it and go. It's all yours. We literally are just here to provide whatever kind of humanitarian aid we possibly can for the protesters. So we're here for you. Okay? Also, this is a small group, and I hope that doesn't discourage any single soul here. Because this is how change starts and this is how shit gets done. And even if there's 6 of you at 9 o'clock and that motherfucker tries to come back, there's still 6 more of you than would be here if no one decided to stand up for something. So just keep fucking doing it. Know that you are amazingly supported. The BLMH Co-op, the Occupy DC group, the DC protest group are all aware of what's going on and are ready to mobilize all bodies. We have civil defense shields ready. Just know that we are all behind you 100%. And this intersectionality of seeing how all of this is tied together and we all need to be here for all of the issues, because this is now bigger than black versus white. This is 99 versus 1%. Yeah. And we need to fucking make that decision and stand up for the injustice across any. That is injustice to all. So just know that you guys are massively supported. I will pass out we're on Twitter at DCHAS2020. And then we will let you guys know. We'll be at all the protests in DC tomorrow. And yeah, like whenever you guys need any kind of support, if you need water, snacks, first aid, civil defense, mental health, decompression stations, we got you. We got you, and thank you for fucking standing for something, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, come drink the water. Please drink the water. Because then I have to carry it back to the car later.
Irene, do you have any water?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Hey
Hey y'all, there's water and snacks in the back, and please sit and rest. And if you could keep off of the other neighbors' properties, because they weren't exactly expecting this to happen today. We're just trying to be courteous. So if you could try to keep as close to the property as you can, but get rest and drink water and snacks in the back. Thanks.
Like, oh, I still don't know your name, but keep, I mean, it's like keep coming through. I didn't mean it. Oh, yeah, I let you one time.
No, yeah, it was like part of that. No, it wasn't. It was actually like pretty progressive. I'm thinking of Bucket. I'm thinking of Bucket, which was inspired by well, so I love that it was like inspired by like communist bears that were Yeah, no, it was like the Department of Agriculture under Henry Law is super left wing, and there's like responsible for good. I know all the non-sectarian. Yeah, no, the Hearts of Iron marriage is great. No, well, that's my hot take, is that, like, everybody wants to go back in time because they somewhere when you go back in time. They totally can.
I'm sure they would be happier to be
Yeah, I don't think they're thinking long.
My favorite snack. I know.
Hey, I'm not saying that I will.
Yeah, it's like they're getting any.
Yeah, I mean, I was like a little salty about it, but I'm also like kind of if I like somehow get to know them,
And they're not.
like
Yeah. What do you mean? It's the same shit
I just want to say, so there's a clipboard going around reflecting people's names and numbers so we can do potential future rapid response actions in case, landlord comes back, we need to mobilize the city. So be sure to sign your name, number when that comes around. And if it doesn't come around to you, try and take it out.
Yeah, I definitely have to.
Yeah, no, so that's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what they do. The problem is, I don't know, like the persona for
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Cancel rent!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
We don't get it,
shut it down!
No, so they hired me. I was like, I don't think
Yeah, exactly.
Robert, where'd you get it?
my third year review is me. But I was thinking
I've been trying to learn. I knew how to write bike, but I didn't know how to write bike. Yeah. Or even just so it's been just very exciting. And by almost died, I mean a car home. Yeah. But I know.
Yeah. They want to diminish the middle class so they won't be to have the consciousness statewide what they did during the Vietnam War. Once they ended the draft agreements with the colleges, then the middle class went out and they forced Richard Milhous Nixon, along with the demoralized military Vietnam, to end that war. And so we're going to diminish this middle class.
It's going to cost me. All right, I'll call you tomorrow.
Thanks for coming out. Stay safe.
I imagine it's French, but it got started probably around Philadelphia, turn of the century, around 1904, something like that. They had chapters throughout the country. They picked certain flags, elevated them to certain positions, and used them to actually buffet the church themselves and the massacre of the cult.
Hey, mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Me and my housemates are gonna call Bob and see what he has to say. Ask him if he's planning to come back. We're gonna record the recording. Well, we're gonna record the recording of what he says, if that makes sense. Just to have the detail. If he doesn't answer, we're gonna leave a voicemail, and I'm gonna actually go inside and navigate that conversation quickly with my housemates, and then we will update you all based on whether or not he answers. If he answers, we'll have a recording to play out. If he doesn't, I guess we can have the voicemail to play out that we leave him. So we're just gonna ask him to follow the law and ask him not to harass us and understand that we're supported. And yeah.
So there's like a whole bunch of the latest one's supposed to be
But like in a weird way, yeah. So that's the
I am working.
Oh, right. Good job.
I mean, I do know my department.
I had one that mom of one of the I left
Yeah, we're following the news of Tenants. They're inside talking to the landlords. Yeah, so they're gonna be an update once they get off the phone. They're gonna give an No, I have not. I don't know how to look up, you know, like the...
Maybe it's like one of those Japanese, like game show things or something. It's like you say something, it's like...
Or they have to like dub over my interview.
They like CGI, so like
that would be incredible. Yeah, it's funny. The only time I've ever been... Yeah, no, that was kind of the thing. I was kind of the thing. I was like, I'm very, concerned about the trying to
And they all know the older elementary school.
And like also like knowledge, so there's like a weird kind of like mix and match.
Yeah, and then I graduated and I was like, but yeah, I would never go back.
I feel like that's like
That's impressive that you got taught because like, I never It's a lot. Yeah, I was a mess when I first there. Never left my room type of thing, so like didn't go to class. So I like failed hard. But then, one semester. Yeah, no, it's okay. One semester, and then I took time off, and I went to MC for a while, and that was like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I took most of my classes at like home apartments.
Oh yeah.
But I also had smaller, so I would like run into people more than if it was at Rockville, more spread out, more people. Yeah, so that was cool. And I like my teachers there. What class did you take out? Oh my god, dude, I literally just like dropped my laptop online. I like, yeah, no worries, sorry. I was just like, the teacher was so annoying and was like very strict. And that just, it just makes me annoyed when teachers sort of set, like, I guess it's fair, like to set rules or whatever, but to take off like half of the points for like formatting issues, that's cool.
Like, I didn't realize when we were like, did I show you how to move down here now? No, I didn't know that. Wait.
I would love it.
Yeah, this is
And I know it's wild.
angels, and I'm just sitting there.
But it doesn't make sense. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrats might even be worse. You can't argue with that.
But the part of it, like, a part of it is like, need for the pandemic, or like, please, like, finish, like, the final season of the pandemic. But no, this whole...
Okay, why do you guys remind the reminder?
Well, you know, it's like every morning. Like, well, actually, that's like taking here.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the test.
Okay, I thought
So my friend got it.
Yeah, it's only my
See, my things are getting too long.
And so you always need to have a touch with somebody.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Yeah, so my best friend and I got that. So she got it in red.
Uh-huh.
We went to the Jersey City tattoo place. Because we messaged someone on Instagram, like, can you do this for us? Yeah.
All that. That's
Yeah.
I need a new tattoo. Maybe I'll go there.
Where you
Well, I got this. On my waist. And I'm going to get a shoulder one.
Oh, I love
So
that.
I really want to get like a shoulder. And I got a friend who's designing it.
Oh, cool.
I gotta wait till after the summer because I gotta have my shoulder. So I
declined offers that we had housing for them just because they couldn't afford it. And even though we tried to negotiate with landlords, it's just didn't go anywhere. So I'm both on my personal life, knowing people. I know how difficult it is to face housing insecurity, but I can also see how it affects structurally. It's not this house. It's not whoever's watching this video. It's everybody. And all I can hope for is that as bad as things are, it will bring awareness and it will cause actual change. I, to some extent, don't even blame landlords because as much as landlords can be shitty, as much as landlords are, it's an investment and not, an income. They eventually have to vouch to, they eventually have to deal with the banks. I think that issues need to be fixed on a much larger scale. We're currently investing so much in these mega corporations. They're literal corporations that have earned so much money during the pandemic. If you just look at Jeff Bezos alone, he has earned, as last I checked, over $51 million during this pandemic. And in the meanwhile, you have millions upon millions of people that all they can think of is, do I pay for groceries, or am I going to pay for rent? Okay, so don't pay for rent. How do I live? I'm just hoping that the change to come will be fundamental and structural and be based on the agreement that housing is a human right.
Mic check, we have updates. We're waiting for one more tenant to come out. She's on the phone, so we have a go-ahead from her. But basically, we called Bob on various phone numbers, office, home, and cell. He didn't answer. We called him from different phone numbers. This led us to deciding that in the last time that he doesn't answer, we would just leave a voicemail. And so we can try to play the voicemail. We were planning to voice record his responses so that we could have it for future evidence if needing to take legal action. However, he didn't answer. Maybe we'll get something out of him later. He did come at 4:25, saw him on top of the hill with his buddy, but he just like left. It seemed like he left the premises. Thanks to the scouters and lookouts, people who were going around the neighborhood, looking at the exits and entrances to keep people safe and let us know where he was. Thank you for people who surrounded the perimeters of the house. Really helpful. Seems like we definitely scared him away. The only thing is that we have no updates from him. We wanted to have a conversation with Bob to let him know to follow the law, as well as demand at least 30 days, just at least. Attorneys are saying we can get way more because the state of emergency is still set. And it looks like Larry Hogan is going to renew it anyway through possibly 2021. So we wanted to have a conversation about what his plans are as far as allowing us to leave, but legally, not forcibly removed. And also, we didn't get that conversation from him, so we called, and then here's the voicemail that we left.
Other side.
Other side.
Oh.
Let's just leave a voicemail if he doesn't answer, and then we'll record that voicemail.
Same time, 7:31, 5:43 p.m. Eastern time.
Hi, this is Bob Miley. Sorry I missed your call. I do live in a Pittsfield area, so I may be in my home office. You can try to 301-297-8782. Otherwise, leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Good afternoon, Bob. Today is July 31st at 5:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your tenants calling from 5406 14th Street, Hyattsville, Maryland. And we were just calling to discuss with you and wanting to have a conversation with you on our next steps as far as a 30-day notice. We do want to leave the premises, but we want to do it properly. We want to do it legally. So if you would kindly give us a call back, we would love to have a conversation with you further. Know that you were in the area. We were really looking forward to seeing you and talking with you. So please give us a call back. Thank you.
Yeah! So we basically told Bob to call us back, ask why he left, asked to do a removal of the premises legally. Sorry if you weren't able to hear that. That's the best that we could do to update through the megaphone from the voice recording that we made from another phone. So sorry about accessibility if you weren't able to hear that. But the next steps is to, I think that there was an action to get your phone numbers into some possible like large signal chat so we can have immediate response if people have capacity and are available to come back to the premises when Bob decides to show up again. I'm not sure when he will. It could be tonight. Yesterday there was some white guy in our yard who like took a measuring tape and I don't know, they did measurements, I don't really know, but our neighbor, really, really good neighbor of mine, this is a really good neighborhood, family oriented, they know us, told us, saw some guy out in the back yesterday at 9 a.m., so I don't know if that was Bob, I don't know if that was his friend, so he knows where we are, he knows we were here and we're supported, but if you could get your cell phone number in a signal chat as an immediate response and just to be in tune with what is happening here as this process rolls out. There were news here, delegates here, attorneys, people with tenants, information, community, friends. So everybody's here together and it's going to be kind of like a variant signal chat of many different types of skill sets. Really appreciate people coming forward on that. And then the next step, it was another step.
we're asking that, you know, if you need to go somewhere, like if you need to leave, you're more than welcome to go on about your life and time. If you are able to hang out and to be here, we welcome you to stay. There is a park very close by, right at the corner. You can also hang out in our backyard. You can hang out here. We have snacks. We have water. But just to, you know, have some people to hold down the space. But, you know, if you need to go, we totally understand, and we do respect that the time that you've spent here, and we highly and very much appreciate it. So.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. Does anybody else want to say anything or need to say anything regarding?
Let's just chant.
Yeah, let's
fight, fight!
Yeah,
Housing is a human right.
Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight! Housing is a human right.
You know, we don't need to get like.
But if there was like a
yeah, we can do that. Yeah. You know, and
yeah, good seeing you again. Yeah, for every year.
Oh damn. Okay. Wait.
Just wasting in the whatever the fuck
You know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. That might be mine. But I feel like the black ones. That's awesome. But it's okay. I was so shocked when I saw you walk up to the mic. I was like, what? Where you come from? Zoe had told me you left. Because I had asked her, like, right before I left, the day before, I was like, what happened? And she was talking to me. I'm like, I don't know if you want me to reach out to you. I didn't know how you were doing. I was like, right. You in a bad mood and I bring up that shit.
No, I wasn't even in a bad mood. It was just like, I peeped the fuck shit and I was like, I literally just be like, that mean.
Hey everybody, I just want to say a couple things. Make sure if you haven't yet, get your number on the clipboard going around. So we're gonna have rapid response type thing, but also we know where Bob lives. So, you know, might organize a fun little, you know, caravan of like angry queer people to show up at his house and ask him for that 30 days. So yeah, keep in tuned. Thanks for coming out, everybody. You know, I'm gonna be here for a little bit, you know. As Em said, you're welcome to leave, but, you know, it'd be nice for, you know, some people to stick around for a little bit. Yes. So we have.
But when again,
Oh, what's this? Sorry.
that's what they be out. Even though they always take the politician out. They come with us to the politician, but they don't.
That's the problem. Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody didn't let me. But you having good
Yeah. It's really always tricky.
That they were literally doing that to me my last week there, and I was
Like I started noticing the pattern quite early on.
Yeah.
The niggas who be saying real shit. And then the
like, and I don't like baby at all. Like, I feel like people hype her up too, like think she cute, but like she really just action, and she really not about no shit. Like people, like they all like internet actors.
Yeah.
Like they don't really want to put in work, and I'm like they are like we need to make noise.
Oh.
We need to be systemic. I'm like, what about systemic? What kind of program can we start right? Like Zoe's so fucking radical. Zoe wants to go for a hospital. Like I'm like.
Hey everybody, one more announcement. Because it is so early in the evening still, it is only 6 o'clock and we don't know what could happen tonight. If there are people who are willing to stay the night, we do have some tents. You're welcome to camp out in our front yard, backyard, as long as you stay on our property and not, you know, invade the other spaces. And that's with a nice invasion. But you know, just something to consider because it is very still early in the game and we don't know what could happen. So, and we are kind of on edge. So yeah. So you know, just things to think about. If you're in the Signal chat, we'll you reach out there. But we'll be here. I'll set the tent up shortly, and I'm gonna burn stuff. So. Thank you all again. Thank you all again.
Also, for anyone that wants my contact info via email, or should I do Instagram?
But it was so nice to see you.
Instagram.
Okay, Instagram. If you want to get in touch about, let's say you didn't get into the Signal chat and you reconsidered and you want to get into it and you want to get in touch with me and I can get a way to get you in it, my Instagram, because I'm one of the tenants that live here and I'd be able to help organize that, is at Lust, LUST _, amid, AMID _ crisis, Lust amid crisis. My name is M. So if we were to take an action at his house in the future, that's if he were to come here and we show up to his house. If he were to come back and we need an immediate action, you have questions, you have comments, you need something, or you want to push some legal aid our way, that's the way to get in touch with me. And then we can work it out through Signal.
It'd be good if we could just organize shifts. I'm definitely take a night shift.
Well, self-acceptance.
Are you okay to get more? Yeah. Did you try?
That one.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna say goodbye to that.
One to the road. What? It was making its way around the restaurant.
Life in the world.
Is that the great? Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it's really good. So Hannah is in one job. She's
Really? Shit. That's what I was gonna say. I wonder if I was gonna say, like, if you don't really find it, like, they just want
so interesting.
Still goes. It's like so it's basically now it's
Only thing so neat. There's like I don't think we have any. There's fruit snacks, there's bananas, there's oranges, there's granola bars, there's cheese sticks, there's
I'm in Fairbanks County, and so right now I'm in District. I'm in District 2, and so they work for so it's my $5 fries on Sunday the last 2 days, and then I turned it to Sunday care day. So I'm so basically, and it's nowhere near like this kind of town. So that's what we're doing right now. We also give out like emergency food. We're trying to expand. You're horrible.
yeah, exactly. Well, like just
live this way. So we haven't been doing that. It's like, okay, so we're trying to do that better, but I really feel like direct outlets, like in the area and stuff. We were able to package a lot more clients. Luckily, I'm like, people start doing them more events. Even they're working, so they will like gather together. We need more volunteers.
Hey, thank you for helping.
Oh, yeah. Especially when I'm working on their adult. They think of it like as charity.
I feel like I see
they're like, working together.
Yeah, that was actually fear where my first class of the day was
actually, ironically moving. Yeah, well, I've been moving the last few yeah, it's going. Elliot. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I hate being the
I still also.
You do. And I would be really good.
Once I get
finishing, he's having a really hard time. He's renting from his parents, but then his parents are getting.
Yeah, awesome. And this is like a better time to do it with them.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, because so much has happened. Like, if it was like 3 months ago, then like there wouldn't have been a
Yeah, now there's like a really solid, like.
Yeah. Some of you guys are talking about it. That was cool. I want to see that described more.
This absorbed my brain so much these last couple days that.
No, I'm getting.
Not giving the story justice.
Okay. I would absolutely be. I feel very guilty about like not doing like minor justice or just feeling that I just like dropped the ball on it.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't either. Yeah. I don't have any idea. That's why I feel guilty. But I think doing a Red Rabbit food, I think it's just like it's good to continue whatever that we were doing there to continue on. Yes. Yeah, they were like totally like, they said yeah, they were like, we're starting a little late, but they thought it was great, you know? So, the discourse is on. I'm sure if I were there, I would have agreed with you. Yeah. Yeah, because then they told me, and they're like, yeah, my friend Brandon like knows Sam, and he was like, yeah, Sam was there. I'm like, okay, I feel good. Like I feel okay now. Like,
yeah, it's like.
Yeah, he takes on too many things. That boy does not know how to say no.
And most
yeah.
But yeah, and then he wants to
But I do think it's like well overdue to like to really do like a red rabbit kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, most of these,
You know, like,
Oh, really? Yeah.
and then I bought something.
that's a national.
Yeah, that was yeah. But what do you think should happen in November? You think like what's yeah, I mean that is true. It could be fun. I mean, my take on it is like I was saying, the Democrats, whatever, they're making this. They're hyping it up like in the same way Trump, keeps pushing boundaries and what he says about it. And it's in the interest of them to keep hyping the threat to drive out turnout and whatever. But like to me, they're not. If they truly do believe this, I'm not seeing the plan. Like I'm not seeing them taking it actually that seriously. Because if you really did think that that's on, then you need to be planning some real serious thing. So I don't know. Yeah, okay, so let's say he doesn't cancel the election, whatever. Let's say he, it's a contested thing, he's like, I'm not leaving. You think he's going to march in there and be like, get the fuck out? What? No, there's a much more likely case of that. Well, then in that case, you're right, yeah, because if there's ever a military coup, it will be like a radical center military coup, like bipartisan consensus, yeah. Eric Garland will be, Secretary of whatever. CIA Director, Eric Garland. I think now I'm talking it out with you. Like, I hear what you're saying. Let me, is this the...
Yeah. So I'll add...
So it's just my name.
So she sent me the security badge.
It's like Dr. Black Emperor said, be prepared for anything at any time with anybody and do shit, always stand your ground.
Now we're going to be starting it for in 19 total limited.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to submit something for so I don't know. I don't necessarily have any. We did that one. And we got it.
Yes, I like her. It's definitely yes, she is nice.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you want, like, good information, better than I could, but basically, like, if it's were legal eviction, like, if the cops would come, we would have people just, like, here supporting, people, like, actively blocking the door, and then people, like, doing a sit in the house, and and that's, like, different levels of grace. But then you also have, like, marshals, people who try to, like, de-escalate. That's and stuff. Stephanie can speak to this really well.
There's going to be an interpreter.
No. I am
I'll make
not
sure. I'll do
experienced in playing with your dad, but that's the gist. Let's hit the road. Anyone need to this clipboard? Get on the signal.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
How's that clipboard?
Hey, anybody? Signet, like phone numbers for rapid response signal.
That's my roommate. I told her to contact you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Clipboard.
A couple of us are on the
Like nobody said to me, well, I'm gonna go there today.
I remember all the leeches when I was in there. I made sure that like continue to say, you know, there's like these other
Thank you for
figure out where we were, or they're not, and they're never coming because like they're working long hours.
I got my
Like they're, you know, they have a life or whatever.
Rochelle? Okay. Roger Williams.
My last name's Williams too.
Oh, Rochelle. I can't forget your last name.
Yes.
Oh, you guys have like 70%
sorry,
the same name.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a cousin named Roger Williams.
Okay.
All right, well, I gotta run after time. We'll see you guys.
Okay.
See ya. So clearly there's a lot of people that are interested in so you said you reached out to
I'm in PG County Mutual Aid group, and we're pretty active in there. We're trying to like organize it in a more sense, because some people like join the business like when they're charity for, and not understand that mutual aid is a social justice thing, and we're about charity society. So we're trying to like do these things, but sometimes it doesn't go as smoothly because some people don't understand like, oh, why would mutual aid want to get involved in that? Like, because if our neighbor gets evicted, who do you think they're gonna call to help? They're mutual aid. Let's just try to prevent that.
Okay. So, yeah, could you...
But
I guess...
like you have him.
Be right back.
And they like have this like 3 days. And like,
no, and that's what like I caught up now a lot about this dynamic of our case. Like there.
Okay, you get all the sheet with all the information you need?
Yep, we got it.
Okay.
Yeah, like it sounds like... So is your idea currently to like see who already called mutual aid and then like start
Yeah, so like we are separating all the districts off in District 2. So hey, I need a little help with all the other districts. I feel like that's the best way because we're already involved. And we like have to do more campaigning with the government.
It's gonna be here.
So like might as well do 2 at once, like you know, organizers doing double work. I don't know how to do a tenant. So I just heard of it, but I
Besides that, like all like
I can't believe he's real. I read it. I saw it.
That was, yeah, that moment where it's just like, he's here, it's like, oh.
And we're like, lock the back doors. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, of course.
We want to set up the 6 to do that.
Yeah.
I was okay. Look, that's what we were talking. Literally, I was like, where's the bylaws? Let me just handle that, and we're just talking. It's okay.
I need better card in Spanish, but
okay. My roommate speaks Spanish, so she can read it.
Yeah, actually, I gave it to you. My name and my phone number.
You got it.
And also,
you want me to put my email down or no?
Yeah, email would probably be better.
I'm like, no.
Contact information.
Oh, I put it on the sheet. Yep, and actually my email says Brody in the name.
Yeah.
Yep, it say that, and then Rody wrote the email, and that's like my social media name and my writing name. Those 30 days will be
Back to night, unfortunately, I think the bike traffic goes on the promenade lane.
Right, exactly. And in my house, like, it kind of like leans on me, like, all the time. I have become the person that, like, calls the landlord, they like,
Yeah, you got it. No rush.
nice to meet you too, thank you. I like your mask.
Are you leaving? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was wondering, yeah. I was going to be here. Right. Exactly. Thank you.
You gotta run two of those. Force me when you want to charge you. And then 1240, yeah, put somebody at the force me with your domain so I can run numbers on it. And then the error goes up to Gmail. Okay. And I'm gonna push you off.
Take care of yourself.
Likewise. All right.
As always, it was a pleasure.
Likewise. It didn't rain. I was afraid it was going to rain.
I know, I didn't want to rain jacket.
See you next one.
Like there's like a real number right now.
Yeah.
All right. This is a great time. So I think we can get some. His company for.
I forgot I was supposed to be on.
Does it get gas reimbursed?
Email, whatever is fine.
Okay.
Hello, to work for
Easier for me just because then I can loop in Roger.
I am.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I can my roommates can see it and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So can I get your
RO8Y Walker. That's my mom's making last name, but it's also my granny's baby name, so it's kind of weird. Oh my gosh, my grandma loves it. Like when I say love it,
oh yeah.
she thinks she's incredible. I'm like, okay, grandma. Yes, that's exactly what she said. That man's so fine. Okay. You know what, like, grandma, this show came out 10 years ago. Like, it's not how he looks right now.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
So I think, like,
if you find a unit.
So who are some of the? If you want, I'm happy to keep talking about this. But if you want to do
a new treasurer who has.
I'm not going to have to sit down.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
we can talk about this a little more if you're interested.
Oh my God. That's what that was? This charger is the worst on mobile charger ever.
Okay, I love it.
What is it? It's literally been on charge since I left my house.
We're just past that resolution.
But I don't live far, so like to go home and get more stuff is like easier. And my roommates are off work now, so I would literally just have one of them come in.
Okay. I also have. I love to.
So
it's like a handful of different.
Okay, cool. Like about the like.
Thank you.
What are some of the things that you're like hearing about from people? Like,
I didn't get it right here together.
Like, honestly, the only people that really talk about it with is my girlfriend and my roommate. But we're all in agreement. Like, we understand that if we got evicted today,
I would have been a great fit for that too.
somebody will fight for us. And like, even if we gotta fight for our landlord, like, it's just us against our landlord. And then we also have other neighbors. So then it's like, right.
Yeah.
And so like understanding that if we have more people that like you knew was gonna be defending us,
You okay,
and
Jeff?
like you know, fighting for us and putting pressure on too, I know for a fact that people respond to us. But it's just us and he knows that we can't afford to do anything.
I loved it.
You know, he knows that like we're afraid of that. So just that feeling, and it's just like we've always gone through things with landlords, and you kind of just give in because at the end of the day, like you need somewhere to live. But it's like if we had an organization that fights for us, we have even different families we could like be supported.
Yeah.
And there's not enough free land.
Because in the Wiccan we are a retail unit.
And not just like like that's the nice thing. Because like when you get enough people together, you don't really see it, you know, just how you have
Weird jurisdiction and stuff.
being like we're like see like we've got enough people now where like we have enough like people where like we're like pushing this out like stopping policies like making laws for us, right?
You can do real change.
And we can like take the fight to landlords when conditions are bad. Like we can like, you know, go out and like have a protest, build landlords, you know, they don't have like healthy living conditions, you know, and like
Sure.
and so
the bargaining line.
that's awesome.
Right.
That's super good. But yeah, Rody, like we've already. It sounds like honestly, it sounds like there's a lot of stuff. So like, I think what's likely to happen is like the first step is we'll like work together.
And I love the audiobook.
Talk about like who are the people that we know, who are the last couple of steps.
Yeah.
No, it's because like I view YouTube the same way I've viewed since 2005. Like I should be saying what's going on there.
YouTube should
ultimately
because what is on the
I know this
No.
is you call one person,
man. I remember when you
20 people, and you call another person, you call another 20 people.
And then people aren't even getting paid properly.
And that's what we've done at like these big apartment buildings. Is like there's always someone who like, you know, oh, when you're having a problem in your building, like who's the neighbor that you go and talk to about like, you know, getting stuff done for them, right? And I know that like that's not like a direct one-to-one with people who live in houses like this, but there's always like people in the community who like have these. There's always like people who can like pull other people. Like, so for example, like, you're like that kind of person, Brody, for like mutual aid. Right. Like, you'll be able to reach out to other like people in mutual aid and be like, hey, like, I think we should do this. And like, I'm working with you, like, I'm sure there's people who respect you and would like listen to you.
Right. I'm hoping Sunday is our meeting, and so I think we're having yeah, it's meeting on Sunday. So Sunday I'm going to present it and see if I can get other districts to jump on board. Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
So what kind of, so is it going to be a meeting of like all the districts in Eviction County?
Like it's all one area, like mutual aid is one group, and then within it we have captains who have a different district. So like I live in District 2, I have a captain, District 1 has a captain, and then on Sundays we have a general. You can do that at captain some and your neighbors like committee. We all work together, like District 6 did a food drive, so I'll be from District 2 and 1 went out there and helped.
Do you do anything with the rent or cash assistance in your mutual aid?
We do not have the funds for that.
Yeah, we don't. Like in my neighborhood, it's like we could do food assistance, but like now everyone's calling me like, so my car's broken down, I can't get to work, the rent's due, and we're just like, we got $300. You know, what do we?
Right, we're trying to figure out a way that we're trying to figure out how we can raise money without becoming a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to work on our crowdsourcing and funding.
Jesus.
Right now, we know like everyone needing money to get like Metro card
Yeah.
and things to make sandwiches, so we can just pass it out to unhoused folks.
Yeah.
So there's no like food centers out here.
Yeah, right.
Oh. There's 3 in the whole county.
Oh my God. The one time that I tried to release something.
That's how like with our focus right now, but we do definitely gotta do fundraising strategy.
How do you handle it? 'Cause, like, they were just running it through like someone's personal Venmo in my neighborhood for a while. And you kind of can't, like, they could get in like legit trouble for that.
Yeah, we
you know?
created a PayPal and a Cash App and a PayPal for us. But we have like a nonprofit who works with us.
Yeah.
And like gave us our first seed money, and we also have to figure out. I don't know. It's tricky. It's all new. We're all learning it together.
So what time is your usually like?
6 o'clock. I believe.
6 o'clock on
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. Yeah. So were you gonna talk about like this as like an example? Or
Yeah, because somebody else in the I had posted it on our all of our social media because obviously it's in the district too. So they're already aware. If they're following our social media, they should be aware that this is coming up.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, that's great. Awesome. Well, Brody, this is really exciting.
It was great to meet you. Like, I was like, I want to talk to somebody, but I get like somebody.
No, but you're out of town. I will see you around. Thank y'all. I'm on the list, so I'll be back if need be.
Thank you so much.
Sleep well tonight knowing that we scared that fucker off.
Yeah, thank you. He's not gonna come
See you, James.
Oh, no, I didn't even bother coming back.
Order to vacate.
I'm hurt. I'm gonna have to go home. Oh. Yeah.
here?
Yeah, he was.
He took off. Yeah.
Email with everybody CC'd on it.
Oh.
It's okay, you don't have to read it now, but I just like put in info about the mutual meeting at Sunday at 6 with Roger. Stephanie might also have opinions on like ways to like if they have suggestions on ways to help you with that if you're interested. But
So like 2?
Yeah. No, definitely be in touch.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, while I got you, do you mind if I grab your phone numbers real quick?
Sure. 419-464.
Numbers just yell at you?
5440.
Did they just yell at you?
What sort of pressure?
Like I think in between.
I thought you said about turning around.
TV, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I mean, my goal is to all these houses.
Nice to meet you too.
I wanted to
see you around.
Yeah. You know, I have
Definitely looking forward to talking more.
now I've been to
Where'd you get your pants at? I want one to really wide bottom pants. I want them wider than that either, but that's a good start.
I feel like
No, it's Portland. Oh dang, even Portland on top of that.
Well, I know, right?
I always see them online, but I'm like, I'm so cheap. I'm cheap. If it ain't $20, I ain't gonna buy it. Like,
AliExpress.
I saw some on Wish that I was gonna get, to be honest.
It's like, do you know how to replace a zipper yourself? Because
No. So I have these boots. I was wearing my leather boots all day, but I broke the zipper on one, and I have to constantly pull it up, and I don't know how to fix it.
I'm decorating.
Oh, Ash, also
Yeah.
make sure to add my number because I did not.
Okay.
find it.
Zip it half.
Yeah, I used to like a safety pin on the inside.
Okay.
I've just started adding stuff.
Okay.
Right now.
Awesome.
I could install them.
Yeah, I'm gonna head
I
out
can't
because
do
I need to
nothing
go
else while you doing the rest.
finish my move. But yeah, thank you all. Yeah. Bye. Bye. I'm gonna head out. I need to go finish some stuff. But,
Okay. Thank you so much for everything.
yeah, we'll keep in touch and keep in touch with me.
Okay.
And I'm definitely down for the start later.
Yes, let's do it. Like I had like 4 spots in my car. Like.
Let's run up on this one.
Yeah.
I'm tired
Alright.
of it. Yeah, let's do it. Thank you.
Alright, see you. Thanks. Thank you for coming. Oh, awesome.
Are y'all doing more stuff?
Well, I guess this is the first. Well, you know, we're doing Virginia actually, like and we're actually going to be doing some. People are starting to work on but yeah, I think this is like our first thing we have.
it's me.
What you guys say, everybody?
Hey! I'm like, no, but you know.
Okay, yeah.
Word on me.
Right, I'm like, come on.